Hey guys, so with all of the December work in progress videos and the 2019 wrap-up uploaded and all of that, I will finally go ahead and talk about some goals for the year 2020. These probably aren't all of the goals that I will aim for in 2020, but they are definitely some of the bigger main ones that sprung to mind when I wrote them down. So those are the ones I'm going to go through. Set goal for writing to 100,000 words every single month. So from here on out, I won't increase the amount of words that I write per month, and I won't be hitting a daily word goal. I will just be aiming for the overall 100,000 word goal instead of trying to hit, 4,500 every single day. If I write 3,000 something one day and 10,000 the next day, great. And it also gives me wiggle room to write like 100 words one day and 4,000 or 5,000 a different day to make up for it. And there won't be a huge issue there. And just because of the way that my hands work and the way that my joints work and my anxiety and other issues that arise, I think 100,000 is doable and still enough of a slight challenge that it's not just an easygoing 50,000. For instance, for me. 50,000 might be huge for a lot of people, and that's 100% okay, but 50,000 is relatively easy for me at my current stage. That could always change in the future. That could always change next month. With the way that my life works right now, it's very hard to determine how many words I can produce on any given day or in any given month. So 100,000 is currently the go-to, and if it needs to be made less than that eventually, it will, but right now 100,000 words every single month is the goal for the entire year of 2020. 10,000 word editing goal per month. Normally I shoot for 50,000, and that's great, but sometimes I'm just not doing any editing that counts for editing. Right now I'm editing Eves for Gent, and editing another book for someone who I've been calling Client A, just because I don't know what name she's publishing under and or what name she is publishing the book under, or if she is actively speaking about those things elsewhere. So Client A is what she's going with from me right now. But I'm editing those two books, so those are the only two that count towards my edit count right now. But I'm also doing a rewrite edit for Eve Lincoln and a rewrite edit for JTS, but both of those only count for my written goal because I'm typing them. That's what the rewrite edit is. So even though I might be editing 5,000-6,000 words a day on any given day, I'm only typing them, so it doesn't count for my edit goal. Also, I'm sorry about the vibrations that you probably heard for a little bit there. I didn't realize my phone was going crazy. But the other goals, publish the first Carver Baxter book, which would be Eve Lincoln. If all goes well, I finish the entire series this year and then start publishing them. I no longer self-publish books until the whole series is done. Because in the past when I have done that, I have hated the series by the time I get to the end of it. You can't go back and change things once they're published. I mean, technically you can, but if people have already bought them, they already exist. So for me personally, I don't enjoy changing things after they've been published. And once they're out there, you can't determine later on that the series needs a rewrite or anything like that. Again, I use the word you referring to myself, as in I cannot do that. If you decide that you want to change stuff after you publish it, I suppose you can. I would just prefer not to. So once I publish the series, start publishing the series, I don't want to go back through and change stuff in the books that have already been published. So my goals are to finish the entire Baxter series, which I think there will be 6 books. I'm currently working on book 5. So hopefully I'll finish book 5 this month, January, and hopefully book 6 will be started by the end of January, and we'll go from there. But in the meantime, I am working on editing the finished books so that way they're ready to go when I finish the series. But publishing the first one, Eve Lincoln, is my main goal this year. That's like the biggest #1 goal. Write more untitled mystery scenes. They make me really happy to write. Just writing random crime scenes and interrogations and killer perspectives and stuff like that. That makes me happy. It's very stress-free because no one but me ever sees it. And I just enjoy doing it, but normally I only allow myself to write a certain amount of words in the untitled mystery documents, because I always separate them into different documents and whatnot. But I usually only allow myself to write a certain amount of them, because since I don't show them to people, it feels like I shouldn't be allowed to write a certain amount of words in them, but that's dumb. And it's just something that I'm still trying to work through my brain and let myself know that it's okay to write those scenes, even if no one else is going to see them, and it's okay to write as many words in those scenes as I want, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's just hard to wrap my brain around, but I really enjoy writing them, and it makes me super happy, but I don't do it anywhere near as often as I would like to, so I would like to do more of those in 2020, and I would like to not hold myself back from writing them in 2020. Same kind of vein there. Write more random scenes, even if they don't make it into the book. Random scenes between Bo and Jensen, Malik and Luca, Jamal and Janice, or Jamal and Luca, or anybody's scenes, no matter which book they're from. Sometimes I write random scenes and they get deleted from the books, and sometimes I write them even if they have no intention of being in the book. But regardless of which intention they begin with, I love writing those scenes. So I'd like to do more of those in 2020 as well, instead of forcing myself to only work on exactly what's going in the book. Because, again, they make me happy, and if it makes me happy, I should do more of that. I also want to make time for drawing every day. I love drawing. I love doing sketches. I do a lot of, well, I want to do a lot of book merch, but I haven't had time to do it because I spend most of my time writing and not really focusing on the ability to do anything else. And right now I draw on my phone, which is what I'm attempting to bring up here right now. So I'm only doing little, it's either chibi or chibi. I've heard it pronounced like 400 ways, so I'm not 100% sure which one's correct. But right now I'm working on the character design for Mul, M-U-L, who is one of the characters from Man of Darkness. And this is him so far, with his weird little hair. He wears a little fisherman's vest over a little white t-shirt, and he's got shaved hair on the side and a little faux hawk thing that's silver or white and gray. And I've always really liked his character design, but I've never gotten to draw him. So he's like the first one that I'm doing this year, and I would like to continue to make time to do those this year, even if I only draw like 5 minutes a day. It doesn't matter as long as I'm doing it every day. That's all that really matters to me. Making time for it is awesome. I would like to set up the editing services section of my website, which would talk about what I do, the prices, and it would give testimonials that I have received thus far for my editing, and I want to finally put that up there and put myself out there for it. I want to continue working on the Z digital model, which is for Voice of the Wild Places Z. Z would be the lost city of Z. So far I have only designed the 3 arches using SketchUp online, the free version, and I would like to continue constructing that online because there's a road, there's mountains, there's a whole bunch of houses, there's a river, there's some wells, there's just a whole bunch of stuff in there that should be built, and I want to be able to see it before I write it. So that's part of the goal as well. I would like to finally step up and do my Police Academy research. At this point, I'm not even sure if I will write Alice and Jake's series, which is what the Police Academy research is for, but I can't make that decision entirely until I do the research, because I don't know how much Police Academy needs to go into their first book, which was initially called Crushed by Time and Academy, so we'll see. But once I get it done, I can actually start writing that book and see how much of it is used and go from there. Continue doing law and legal research. I have Kindle Unlimited until March, I think. Right around Black Friday, Christmas, somewhere in that range of days. I think it was closer to Black Friday, but I don't remember. But I think until the end of March, I have, end or beginning, probably beginning of March, I have 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for, like 99 cents, I think was the bundle deal. And I'm using the books available on Kindle Unlimited to do some research on legal stuff, on, autism for probably an unrelated thing, but we'll see, and some psych stuff, but I'm doing the research on all of those, and I want to continue doing the research on those in 2020, and same thing there, allowing myself to do that research without feeling guilty that I'm doing that instead of writing, actual book stuff. Be more willing to promote my books. I self-published 3 books in 2019 that I'm incredibly proud of, and I don't promote them very much on my own channel unless they're having a sale or I'm posting a video distinctly about them. I only speak about it on Twitter like once every 3 months, if even, and same on Instagram, and same on Facebook, same on Pinterest. Those are my social medias that I created specifically for myself as an author, and I very rarely actually promote my stuff on there. And it's mostly because you see people talk shit online when people promote their work, and that's a garbage attitude to have. If you have worked hard to build up a following, if you have worked hard to build up people who care about your work, you should promote your work. That's the point. That's part of the point. As long as you are also supporting those other people by interacting with their tweets and posts and so on and so forth, you're 100% allowed to promote your work. That's the point. No one can buy what you're selling if you never talk about it. Allow myself to post more videos outside of only writing. Primarily, I only post stuff writing and editing related, and then I do gaming videos roughly every Friday. Recently I haven't because I've been in a lot of pain, and I wear a headset that rests here near my TMJ, and I have a lot of pain there recently, so I haven't been doing streaming like I would like to. But the gaming videos are about the only thing I allow myself to post outside of writing or editing, and I would like to allow myself to post more outside of it. I'd like to sit down and talk about my photography. I'd like to sit down and talk about the reasons for my pain, because a lot of times I just casually mention it and move on. So one of the top comments I get on, like in my Instagram private messages, is what kind of pain I have or what causes that pain. And at some point I'd like to talk about that and then talk about the things that help me the most with it. I would like to just talk about my animals and which games I like playing, and I like doing arts and crafts stuff. I'd like to talk about that sometime. I'd like to make videos on that sometime, but previously I've always said I'm going to, and then I don't, because I'm like, well, I primarily do writing stuff on here. But despite the fact that writing is the primary focus of my channel, as well as my life, it is not the only thing that I do in my life, and I would like to show that on my channel, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Start writing the Hellish story, which Hellish is the series title for the series that Man of Darkness belongs to. I want to start writing that about one of the souls that Miles reaps in Man of Darkness. It would be a detective novella, probably, maybe a novel, who knows, kind of stories take their own thing and hit their own word counts. But Miles goes into a house to reap a soul, and there are blue and red and white lights flashing outside, so the cops are there, and he goes upstairs, I think, to the office of the house, and that's where the soul is standing, to move on to its afterlife. And the soul says something to the effect of, "She shot me in the head," I think. And that's the soul that the book would be about. It would probably be focused on his ghost while the cops work to solve the case, because in the lore set up by Man of Darkness, the souls move on to the afterlife, but the ghosts can remain on Earth. So the ghosts are still a version of those people, but they don't have souls, so they don't precisely feel emotions the way that a human would. They can just feel emotions in the sense that they have remembrance of what it was like to have those feelings, and the longer that they stay on Earth, the more those fade away, so on and so forth. But when you start getting things like hauntings and poltergeists, those are souls that stayed behind, generally, not always. But that's what's set up with Man of Darkness, so his soul still moves on to the afterlife, but his ghost is staying, and the ghost is probably what the book will be about. Probably. And then the last one that I have written down here is to finally pick up writing a zombie story again. In my lifetime, I have written probably 50 zombie books. Not all of them have hit completion, and not all of them have been about different characters, but I've written a lot of them in my life. The Carver Baxter characters originally spawned from a zombie book that I've rewritten probably 8 or 9 times before I finally wrote the Carver Baxter series. The characters featured in Cut to the Kill were initially a zombie book, and I tried to write that one 3 times, I think. And then I wrote a book last year, started a book last year that was called Corpses in the Night, and that was zombie, and it followed like several different groups. But this year I want to choose one of those groups and write a book about them, and then do that for the rest of the groups, rather than trying to write them all into one book. That's the plan. We'll see. I'm sure there are other plans for 2020, but I'm tired of talking. My jaw hurts and my throat is super dry for no reason at all, so I'm like trying not to cough right now. But those are the main ones, I think. Write more of what makes me happy, set the goal at 100,000 words every month, edit 10,000 words every month, roughly, set up some editing services, be more willing to promote myself, do some more research, do some more digital modeling, 3D stuff for my books, especially Z, draw every day, allow myself to post more videos, and start some more books. That's the basics. But that's all I've got for this video. The next stuff you see will start being probably January work in progress videos, and then we'll go on from there. But that is all that I have for the 2020 goals for 2020. Tell me what kind of goals you have set for 2020. Writing resolutions, editing, music, gaming, work stuff, personal stuff. Who cares? Whatever your goals are, and if you want to share them, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what your guys' main goals are for 2020. I mostly went over just the writing related goals, because again, that's the main focus of my channel. But I think my biggest goal of 2020, truthfully, is to find out what causes my joint pain. But that won't be until at least April, so we'll see. But yeah, that's all I've got for the 2020 goals video. I will see you guys for January work in progress videos and whatnot. If this is your first video, same as per usual. If you enjoyed, a like is always appreciated. And if you'd like to stay updated on my writing, my editing, the gaming videos I upload roughly every Friday, or anything that I do on this channel in between, feel free to subscribe. All the links to my authors pages, as well as links to my social media, are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.